It's a very vexing problem, and it's one that almost you want to give up on. So yes, the United States has built its infrastructure over a century to accommodate the automobile, but if something better comes along, why not abandon it and build it again?
A bicycle, a scooter, one of those fancy new Amazon vans that roams the streets of New York City in the bike lane. All of those are micromobility. The industry that surrounds these micro devices, specifically the ones with batteries, has grown so fast regulation, enforcement, and education haven't caught up.
So often it is one major thoroughfare that is 4 to 6 lanes, and the speeds are all going super fast, and there's no shoulders. There's nowhere that bikes or e-bikes are designed to be, and they're just kind of allocated to either riding on the sidewalk with pedestrians or riding on the road, which can be very terrifying.
Really worry a lot about head trauma, and especially with these pop-up rent-a-centers that are very conveniently located outside restaurants and bars and, pedestrian malls. I do worry about the fact that you can access an electric mobility device, but there is not the same accessibility to the safety equipment that we know prevents catastrophic brain injury.
I think that having a bike share in a community is such an important asset that I would be cautious to restrict having it be rolled out and integrated into a community. But I think if we can get that education included and maybe prioritize having safer but slightly slower devices or devices with more control.
It was the arrival of the electronic mobility bikes, the e-bikes, the scooters, and the hoverboard. We've always seen bike injuries, and we've seen skateboarding injuries and stuff. And anytime a pedestrian is mingling with motor vehicles, that's dangerous, especially if they're outside of expected spaces like a crosswalk or a bike lane. That's where we get into trouble.
A lot of the issues that health professionals are seeing with e-bikes and these crashes, they're coming from the e-motos, because especially with a throttle that takes you up past 20 miles an hour, that's where you really are going a speed that you're not super conscious of.
The ability to take a human body and have it go faster than it could walk or faster than it could run and maneuver more quickly than the human body could naturally lends itself to injury.
The faster you can go, the more important the helmet is, because the more likely you are to get into a situation where you lose control or your device is moving in a way that the road users around you aren't familiar with because it's still new technology.
Head injuries are probably the biggest concern because, the way adults fall. Certainly we see a ton of orthopedic injuries in the extremities, but you can kind of get past a broken wrist, but it doesn't take much to crack your skull on a curb and have a life-altering injury.
I think that there's a lot that can be done for protected infrastructure that doesn't require a huge initial investment, and it just takes, honestly, the political will from your local elected officials.
The idea of micromobility is that it allows us to figure this out, because you'll never get there by car. That is to say, you'll never get to that future with the car because it's too damn expensive. It costs you in land, real estate, pollution, health.
The future of the planet is reliant upon our decrease in carbon emissions and pollution. These devices offer us a door to a new way to move and a greener way to move, if only we take them.